welcome back to the Lloyd and JD podcast. The best fucking podcast in the world. I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
Epic.
And this is episode
101.
101. Or we can just call it 1. We're back. Season 2, episode 1.
Episode 1.
We have the longest episodes for a season.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. Holy crap.
Yeah.
This season won't be as long.
Yeah. So last episode, if you didn't watch it, we've been talking about aliens, essentially getting back to our roots of the show. That's where we started our first episode, talking about ancient aliens and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah. Sasquatch and all the unexplained ghosts and you name it. And speaking of which, we have to get on that ghost hunting thing at some point. Go do that. But we were talking about aliens last episode. We talked about the discovery of 7 new planets by NASA that are in a zone circling a dwarf star that are, by all accounts, they figure habitable.
We also talked about how we've known.
That the belief is that we've known for quite some time.
I don't want to put it on you. I know you know and believe in it. Yeah. But yeah, and we talked about how they back-engineered Roswell.
How they back-engineered Roswell. We're talking about technology and technology advancements. For me, I think a lot of the technology that we have now today, it just continues to multiply.
Do you know that an iPhone is better than the technology that took us to the moon the first time?
Oh, absolutely.
That's bullshit that we didn't get that
and
from
an iPhone is better than the first fucking computer that I ever used in a school.
Exactly. And
which caught on fire,
that we
I might
didn't
add.
back engineer some technology, and all these fucking special flights you hear of on like special army vehicles that have never been seen before. There's so much for it to be fake.
The thing that always,
how can anyone not believe in this shit now? Like,
but the thing is for me, right? And this is what I don't get is that if we were, because as a race, I have a tendency to believe that, number one, we're violent. That we seem to resort to violence at the end of the day when push comes to shove. Which, but
this is what I'm talking about. Conspiracy, like we are guided to be violent. Yeah. You hear about America wants to keep America. Well, they make more money when they're at war than they do when they're not at war. Yeah. They're always at war for a certain reason, and I truly believe that the American government's one of the governments that's involved in a lot of this. They own NASA. Well, it's an American establishment. Even though people from all around the world work for NASA, it's still situated in America. Yeah. I just feel like we are manipulated into war. Yeah. And I feel like we're manipulated into war by the stronger powers, the richer, the more powerful men. And I feel like they are manipulated by something a little more powerful than them. And I truly believe that even the president in America doesn't have the power that some of these rich people have. There are people in America that you don't even know their name, and they're pulling strings you can't imagine. Yeah. Things like murder to them is just a game. I think it goes way deeper than people can believe. And that's why when you say like we're a violent people, I don't think that we are. I think, everything's violent when they're kind of put into a situation where they have to be violent, or when they're taught to be violent. And all of our countries teach us to be patriotic of your country and teach you to die for your country. And then your country will go to war over silly things that maybe you wouldn't agree with in real life. Would you fight your friend over this reason? Probably not. But because your country goes to war, you will die for it. And I feel like we're played with in that sense. I think it comes along with aliens.
Tribalism, right?
I think that when you talk about conspiracy theories, we've talked about this before. It's a word that's deemed onto people to make you look crazy. Yeah. If you call someone a conspiracy theorist, they're no longer, a good word. No one cares what you have to say now. Like there's scientists that have lost their, whatever they get. I don't know, their appeal because they've been laughed at, because they search in for things that maybe aren't, conventional things to search for in science or something like that. And I feel like that's been a way to also control the way we look at the world and the way we look at things, because we are very controlled in the way we live our lives. And we live our lives to pay taxes.
absolutely.
for a government.
I mean,
and we don't live free. You can call America and Canada free, but it's not free. I can't just wake up in the morning and choose my day. I can't get my food the way I'd like to get my food. We're stopped from making campfires sometimes in the fucking wilderness. It's we are very guided.
Well, the city of Calgary you couldn't even have a chicken in your backyard.
Exactly. We're very guided in our lives, and I think that most of the decisions we make on a daily basis are decisions that are given to us.
But to jump back to sort of where my point is that you don't see the technological advancement in flight and space in the sense that, you look at World War I biplanes, you look at World War II planes, you look at current jetliners and current jet fighters. I mean, it's all within, but it's most definitely not space flight.
And this is my argument, though.
Even flying to the moon. I mean, we flew to the moon, we got back, then we started riding the space shuttle, but we didn't really do anything except for fly into space and come back. And even that failed because we had Columbia that blew to bits.
This is my argument. I feel like we've been blocked from seeing what we really have. Like, we bring out stuff like the iPod for people. It's a controlling device. You're always monitored on your iPod. No matter where you go, they know where you are. It's a way of controlling the masses even more than we was. Right. And that's the only technology we've ever been given. But yet we always see these crazy army testing things where we see things that we've never seen before. And they're like, oh, no, weather balloon. Like, and whether or not, I don't believe that a lot of the things that we see in space are aliens. I think it's the American government with the stuff that they're not telling us about. That black market, $4 billion.
Right.
That's what we're seeing on the camera. I don't think we're seeing little gray aliens anymore. I think we're seeing us.
Yeah. I think a lot of times the investment is, like, so in a lot of ways we're violent. So the investment is in killing.
Yeah. So,
but to the same extent, the non-governmental, consumerism-based things. Why do we get things like iPods and iPhones? Because that makes people money. I think with the NASA thing that's happened now, I think with the discovery of these planets, you will see big corporations investing money, because I bet you anything.
Yeah, but
there will be somebody that is thinking, if I can get there first.
But just think about it logically anyway. Like, we can split fucking atoms, for fuck's sakes. And you're telling me that our technology just stopped? No, horseshit. Technology stopped for me and you, friend.
I hasn't said it stopped. I'm just saying that our investment in technology depends on what it's for.
But I feel like...
And what I feel is that space travel, up until this point... you could maybe go inhabit the moon.
But you're still talking about the regular market. Yeah. I'm talking about this black project market that money isn't supposed to be going there.
Right.
The Americans lost $4 billion this year. That's Michael Orm. Yeah. Virgin Mobile can fucking sponsor whoever the fuck they want. Have fun trying to get to a planet 2,000 years away. Like, great, enjoy it. I think it's a front. Yeah. I think it's like, here, play with this for a fucking bit while we do this.
Yeah.
I don't think that anything we ever get in the news is something that's actually going to be gripping and real right now. I think it's a toy. I think it's like a squeaky toy for a dog. Here, I'm watching the fucking news. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I think that this $4 billion excess that's being spent every year is what is really fucking going on. And I think that's what people need to look at. It's exciting when we hear the news. Great. 7 planets. There could be more life. And I think it eases people into the fact that there may be life somewhere else. And I think that's the best thing that could come out of this, is that people now start to realize that, okay, there is other planets that are perfectly situated. And
I think it eases people into that. I agree with that too. I think it also, like I said, it could be one of two things. It could be that, or it can be, hey, like all you environmentalists that are complaining about the environment.
Yeah, we found this one.
We found this other place, and we can go wreck that shit later.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I'm still, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I know that you guys are doing something on the side.
Yeah.
And I know that something on the side is way more advanced than what Virgin Mobile is doing.
Yeah.
Because that's what the people that control our world are doing. I feel like, and that's where we're talking about the one world government, and anyone that follows the Rothschilds. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
He recently disclosed on camera when he said, "Are you involved in trying to get a one world government where you control everyone?" And he admitted it. He's like, if his words were, sorry, I'm paraphrasing because I don't truly remember, but it was something along the lines of. If I'm guilty of like basically wanting that, then I'm guilty.
Yeah.
And that's like
that comes down. I mean, and aliens are one thing, but corporations are another. I mean, there are so many multinational corporations now that are operating. They operate here, they operate in the UK, they operate in America, they operate in China, and it's the corporation as a whole. So let's say
the people at the base of that, though, I feel are at the people that you don't hear about, and those are the people that are pulling strings.
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely.
Can't imagine. And I feel like, that's what we're completely blind to. And we worry about these 7 planets. We worry about this. We watch the news, but behind our backs, they're flying crafts we can't imagine. They're using technology we can't imagine. I've seen documentaries about nanotechnology, but you don't see it in today's world. But I guarantee you they have shit. There's things that we won't see for 10 more years, but they've had. And, I'm not even guessing that they had iPods way earlier than we got it. I'm just guessing it became a public thing when it was no longer... they didn't need, they are better now. So, we'll make money off of this. We need to fund what we're doing here. Let's sell this to the millions. It's old technology. It looks fucking amazing. They don't have anything like it. Give it to them. Yeah. And I feel like that's where we go as like a race. They learn about stuff. They don't tell anyone. And they being, this, higher end rich people, whatever it is that's running our world, because we're controlled with war, by money. Yeah. And
I think corporations have a different direction than government.
We have,
but I think there is a huge
I don't think
amount.
There's a difference.
I think there's a definitive difference. I think that what you're looking at is that corporations try to control governments.
They do. I don't think they try.
Well, they do. They can manipulate
I think they
stuff.
do, and I don't think the government are. I think we see the government as top. I don't think they are. I think that they're just controlled manipulators or front men. Like, you need someone's face.
Right.
And any person doing the things I'm talking about would need someone's face. Yeah. Why would you want your face plastered on Facebook?
Yeah.
Why would you want your face on Insta? Like, why would you want people putting you in the news? You wouldn't, because you're higher up than that. Like, murder to you is like fucking nothing. No, I'm talking that high up. I'm talking like, my name isn't even in the fucking I don't exist sort of dude. Right. Like, and there are people that are like that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is corporate interests can control government with money, and even if they can't, they can always move
Government's
somewhere
funded
else.
by money, and that money all comes from
and that's what I'm getting at, right?
And so those are the people that are really running it, and I feel like they've got some stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't even fathom. Like, the nukes that we have are fucking so high end. Yeah. They can go up into space and like.
But their end game will always be. It's going to be one of basically a few things. It's going to be money. It's going to be power. And that's kind of it.
And I think that would be the human way, yeah. And I think, but if we do have alien influence within our government, which I do believe, I think their wants and needs, whether we know them or whether we think we know them, I think are going to be a lot fucking different than what ours are. Because I don't think money would appeal to an alien race. That's just my opinion. I don't think he gives a fuck about the American dollar.
Power, money or resources.
It's got to be resources. Right. I can't see money being a thing. A grey alien come down and be like, you got $5. Gold, maybe silver. I don't know. Certain types of resources, like gold's a superconductor. Maybe they would want superconductor. Water. These are all things that I can see being there, or us. Yeah. Being their point. But I feel like we're being guided by someone with different views than we think they have. Right. So, that would be my belief on it. And I feel there's more than one. We're getting pulled all different ways. Yeah. I don't know if you would...
Well, you got to look at how many space programs there are.
And look at the Nazi stuff. That's some interesting stuff to look at. As much as the evil crap that the Nazis did do, Hitler was a very superstitious man. And he was a very big believer in aliens and superpowers and demons and all sorts of stuff. He did some crazy stuff in his time. Yeah. And if you read some of the files that they have on what those guys were doing... They found some crazy... Apparently, they met a race of Nordics that look like humans, but maybe a bit bigger, more Nordic-looking, almost big brow, blonde hair, blue eyes, that live in the Earth. Apparently, this is just written by fucking generals and stuff that were doing this research for Hitler. Yeah. And they met these people, and they won't intervene in us directly unless another race intervenes with us directly. There's all sorts of laws that they live by, and they've got a whole bunch of knowledge on this Nordic race. And then they also did what I forget what it was called, the something bell. And it was a bell-shaped device that would be chained up, and it could practically hover and go within dimensions or something. And the guy that it was named after, that built it for Hitler, disappeared when they actually went, when they raided the base area, and they never found the bell, and they never found him. So there's some crazy stuff you can read about what they were doing, and he was giving a lot, he was throwing a lot of money at it. If you think about all the money he was picking up when he was going into countries, he was throwing all that money into superstitions.
And you see that in, that's why we have movies like Indiana Jones, where the Nazis seek out, things like the Ark or the Covenant or the Holy Grail.
These are real. Yeah. I feel like these are real things. Yeah. Like sometimes we talk about them as if it's like mythology or like
you look at Hellboy. There's a Nazi influence in there. Yeah. I mean, that's where these things come from. I mean, how far that went, who knows exactly?
No, but it's interesting stuff. Yeah. And if you can get reading about it or watch some documentaries on it,
it goes to say that if you have an open mind and you explore things to its fullest,
you can only imagine
what you can discover. Right?
Yeah, you can only imagine what is actually real. And that's my get at life. I think sometimes we need to do that. I think sometimes we need to look at stuff and just imagine what actually could be the possibility.
Yeah.
And we got to realize that how we live our lives isn't necessarily how humans were supposed to live their lives. We weren't supposed to pay taxes every day and go, there is a way that society can work differently.
Yeah.
And there's many ways that society can work differently. I'm not saying that any of them is right or wrong, but this one definitely isn't, how we were supposed to do it.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, we're guided by people that don't have our best interest.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest thing about
that's the thing is when you live in a society and somebody is essentially like, if you look at what's going on in the United States and Donald Trump, people will guide you that you don't necessarily agree with. And that's throughout history. It doesn't matter if you're Donald Trump or Barack Obama, JFK, who you are. It doesn't matter who that person is. You can be Margaret Thatcher. You can be all these people. Guess what? You've elected somebody to sort of lead you, and guess what? Sometimes that's not going to be in your interest.
I think people need to realize how easily you are to follow without even knowing.
Yeah.
How easy you are to do things that maybe someone wants you to do without you even thinking that, and to change someone's...
And to be honest, in this day and age, I don't think there's really anywhere you can go not to be influenced by somebody else.
Exactly.
Right?
And, and with that, you don't really have the same...
And even if you do, even if you have the money to buy a private island, somebody at some point is probably going to come shit on your parade.
And that's my thoughts with these planets. Like, even if, say, Virgin... fucking sponsored, they threw so much fucking money at this that one of them managed to fucking warp black holes to get there in fucking a year. Me and you would never be able to get there on the wage that we make.
Absolutely not.
And we would die a horrible life on this desolate, dying planet. And I think that's the worst thing. I think we need to, instead of sinking our money into planetary exploration, let's sink our money into planetary cleanup.
Yeah,
and help this problem that we've created.
Absolutely.
Because we're killing our Earth, and I kind of like it here.
Yeah. So be kind to the planet. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe below.
Love others. Believe in aliens. No, we're not alone. I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
Peace.
See ya.
You gonna take your skin suit off now?
Yep.